So no queries guys, right? Okay, so we saw how to create a CDS view, your DDL source name and your CDS entity view name, both of them can be same or you can keep it different. Once you activate your DDL source, apart from your CDS view, a SQL view name also gets generated. We understood that this annotation @abapcatalog.sql view name, this annotation is mandatory, without which you will not be able to activate your CDS views. Second, @abapcatalog.preserve key true, this influences how you are going to enable the key elements of your CDS view and how it depends on how the behavior will be when you use the same in your program. And now another important point, whenever you are creating a CDS view and if you want to see the same, as in which database table does it get stored from your respect to your these entries and all. So what happens is, click on, I think this, yeah, go to SE11, provide the table name as DDL dependency table, click on display. Now here provide your DDL source name. This is not your CDS entity view name. Provide your DDL source name. So my DDL source name is ZCDS_demo_learn. So since I have kept the same here, provide this name here, execute the same. Here can you see your object view name, DDL source name, DDL source name is same for both. This is your SQL view name, ZView_demo1, and this is your object name as in the CDS view name, ZCDS_demo_learn. So type is structured object. So this DDL dependency table will store the details of your CDS view and your SQL view with respect to your DDL source name. The type of a CDS entity view is STOB, that is structured object, and of your SQL view is view. Now if I go to the TR, now here, so example, what I mean is, whenever you are creating a CDS view and in your TR, if you want to see, it will store only your DDL source name and nothing else. In your TR, it stores data definition language source. So whenever I am capturing the same in my TR, it stores only your CDS view name and nothing else. Got the point? See here, in this task for this TR, it captures only your DDL source name. So apart from DDL source name, it will not capture your SQL view or your CDS view entity name separately. It will capture your DDL source name for the same. So in your TR, it will capture only the DDL source name, and the table for referring the details for your CDS view with respect to your DDL source and the SQL view with respect to your DDL source is DDL dependency table. DDL dependency table stores all the information with respect to your DDL source. Another important point which I want to tell you is, so when I go back here and in the view, if I specify this view name here, ZView_demo1, okay, if I specify this view name here, ZView_demo1, and click on display, can you see this generated DDL SQL views are only supported in a limited way by SE11. So if I click on display or edit, see here you cannot edit with the same. You cannot edit this object with the standard editor. You cannot edit all this from here. If you double click on this DDL source name, it will just show you like this. Data definitions can only be edited using ADT in Eclipse. So as I told you, as of now, you cannot create or you cannot edit any DDL source or CDS view apart from Eclipse. So you can just, even here also you can just see the same, but you cannot do anything. This is your DDL source name, CDS entity view name, SQL source name, which you just saw now. So DDL dependency table, first point, TR contains only your DDL source name, second point, and even if you come here and navigate here, but you won't be able to edit or change any of the things. You can just see the same. Up to this point, is it clear, guys? These three important points: your DDL dependency table, how the DDL sources are getting captured in the TR, and why you cannot, and I just showed you won't be able to edit the same from here. Up to this point, is it clear, guys? Okay, now do one thing. Whatever I showed till now, please practice the same on your system. I give you 10 minutes from now. Please create your CDS view. Do one thing, change the name of your entity view name from your DDL source name while creating. Analyze the same, play around with the data preview, check the same in your DDL dependency, check what is captured in your TR, and once you do the same, please, I'll just give you 10 minutes, then we will proceed forward. Okay, it's 8:34 now. At 8:45 we'll proceed again. Okay, so please practice the same. As in, you create your CDS view, please note that give it a different name while activating. Don't give the same name, and see whether it is accepting or not. Give a different name from your DDL source name, then go to your SQL view name from SE11 and check the same. Play around with the data preview and check the same. Okay, so 8:35 now. I'll give you time up to 8:45. Fine, then proceed, guys. Guys, did anyone complete it? Srishti, Asit, anyone did complete it? Rahul, Aditya, Naresh, Shifani? Okay. I did not get you, Aditya. What do you mean? How to change the view to get the web screen on the right side, as in? Like this you are telling, or what? So you can do one thing in window, go to perspective and reset your perspective. Once you open your ABAP perspective, no. In case some of your things is not there in place, click on window, click on go to, click on reset your perspective, and you can reset your perspective in this way. Or otherwise do one thing, whatever all this you are getting, no, click on, say if I restore it here, this will come like this. Okay, minimize it here, fine. If you don't want this, minimize it here, and if you don't want this, minimize it here. This completely gives you a bigger picture. If you again want whatever it is, restore it here. Okay, this will come like this. If you want it here, restore it here, this will come like this. Got the point, Aditya? So guys, as I told, if data preview can go from F8 also. Do an F8, no, Ashit? Are you speaking about data preview? Do an F8, or right click on the same and open with data preview. Right click on the same, open with data preview, or do an F8. Open with data preview or do an F8. So in both the ways you can go to the data preview. I prefer F8 because it is a shortcut. So guys, since I did not record the initial part of it, I'll just repeat for just 5-10 minutes so as to understand what we understood today. So earlier we were having the classical approach of programming. We were focusing on the data to code, wherein we were getting all the load from the database, as in getting all the data on your application server, doing all the computations and calculations here. Now what we did from ABAP 7.4 onwards, certain different technologies and mechanisms came, wherein we can push all our code to data. That is, all your calculations, aggregations, everything will be done at the database itself, and then we will finally get the refined output model. So this is what we are referring to. That is, your data intensive logic was written earlier at the application server, and huge amount of transfer of data was happening. But from your SAP HANA coming into picture and from your ABAP 7.4, which is tightly coupled so as to fully optimize the potential of SAP HANA, what we do, we transfer only minimum amount of data that is required. We transfer our entire code here, and the mechanisms can be CDS views, SQL functions, AMDPs and all those things, and we get the required data here. So we told that the technical definition of CDS view are, it's a collection of it's a collection of domain specific languages and services for defining and consuming the semantically rich data models. Okay, and we also understood the differences between your ABAP dictionary views and your CDS views, where your CDS views can be database independent because it can be consumed across any database. It is not database dependent. So like there were certain restrictions in your dictionary views wherein you were not able to use outer join, union and union all, but with CDS views all those restrictions has been eliminated. Then your calculations, expressions, aggregations and grouping were not supported, whereas these all are supported in your CDS views. Then when we talk about building views on top of views, so guys, in SE11 ABAP dictionary this is not possible. Building views on top of views, building views on top of views, this is one view, this is one view, this. But in CDS views, if there are two CDS views like this, I can combine both the same to get a CDS view. I can combine this CDS view and this CDS view to get another CDS view. So in this way I can do the group nested views in respect to my CDS view. Then we understood while creating a CDS view, whenever we are giving a DDL source name. So guys, did anyone try by giving a different DDL source name and a CDS entity view name? Anyone? Anyone tried? Srishti, Naren, Aditya, Asit, anyone? Shefali, Priyankari, anyone? Did anyone try? Okay, so Asit, you were able to see the same, right? And what did you observe in your DDL source name? You can speak up, Asit, by the way. I have unmuted you all. You can unmute yourself and speak up. So what was your observation when you went to the TR? Did you see your DDL source name or did you see your CDS entity view name?
Oh, I didn't display that in the TR though. But I see that in the view.
You did not log it in the TR. You created as a local object.
No, I did it, but I didn't go into the SE01 yet. But I saw the syntax and I saw that it's there in the source.
So Priyankari, can you just let us know what did you see in your TR? If you have seen, you saw the DDL source name or the CDS entity view name. Priyankari. Anyone who wants to answer? Okay, great. Thanks, Srishti. So DDL source name, right? Okay. So also I showed you how the SQL create statement gets fired, which basically helps in creating you the DDL source name from the DDL source name, which helps you to create the SQL view name. So whenever you are activating your DDL source name, two the entities gets created. One is your CDS entity view name, other one is your SQL view name. SQL view name is basically your representation of your database object, and this is tightly integrated with your data dictionary. Whereas your CDS entity view name, it neither resides in your data dictionary nor on your database. It carries mostly your semantic information. Also, we saw that apart from your ADT, as of now till date, you cannot create your CDS view. Neither you can edit nor change anything from your SE11. You can just view the same. So up to this point, it's clear to everyone. Now I'll show you some small tips. Like example, this was my, when I am giving these annotations, see here, when I am giving these annotations before your view, when I am giving these annotations are your view annotations, okay, because I am giving these annotations before my view. If inside my CDS view, as in within these elements, these all are your elements, right? Within these elements, if I give any annotation, this will all be my element level annotation. So in case if I want to give any annotation before this char ID, so how do I give the same is @end user, okay, @end user, just control and space you give, @end user text.label. Now you can specify any label for the same. So control and F3. For an element level annotation, either this annotation can be before this element, or if I want, it can be after this element as well, in this @, then end user text.label, then URL. Suppose I want to specify URL for airlines. Now These element level annotations won't have any impact on your data preview or anything, or even on your SQL view. I'll just show you the same. If I now navigate to your SQL view name from here, see, even still it will check. See, the description will come from your DDIC objects only, airline code, airline name and all. It will not come from your semantics. Okay, this semantics is from your, whenever I told you, whenever this you are using from your consumption point of view in your Fiori applications or exposing and all, so there you will be able to see the difference, how this field label will look like. This is where it will be, you will be able to see the difference, not just from my CDS view itself. Second point, here if you right click on the same and click on open with and click on this active annotations, just click on this. Here it will show you all the active annotations that you have for here. Can you see the entity annotations for this CDS entity? What are these view annotations? @ABAP-catalog.SQL view name annotation value, right? So if I just expand this, and @enduser.text.label, right? So can you see here the annotation value? This CDS view annotation, which consists of your @enduser.text.label, these all are translatable text annotations. So whichever language you want to see, this can be translated to that respective language. That is the beauty of this @enduser.text.label. That is the ultimate end user text label annotation which can be translated. Now coming to your element level annotation @enduser.text.label. So here you similarly you have @enduser.text.quickinfo and heading. I have not used both these two, hence annotation value you are not getting anything. Translated text, this came from your DDIC, that is carrier ID, airline code and ID. This is coming from your data dictionary. Then your original data source, this is your CDS view name, and since I have given the same here, see, I have given the same, no, carrier ID, hence the original data source is CDS view name. But since I have not specified anything here, what is the original data source? From my database table, as in from the DDIC objects, and the data element which is specifically helping here, that is char ID and _char ID. Okay. Now similarly go to your carrier name. Here also if you see, I have not specified anything, hence your original data source is from SCAR and not from your CDS view name. So that is the reason you are getting everything from your here. So all the different annotations, char ID, carrier name, currency code and URL. Now for URL also I put, right, @enduser.text.label. Now URL for airlines, can you see the origin data source get changed from SCAR to your CDS view name. This is the way you can check your active annotations. Now there is one more feature, open with. Can you open this dependency analyzer? If you open this dependency analyzer, it will show you the dependency, as in what I mean is, this is your SQL view name. This SQL view name is dependent on which table? That is SCAR database table, right? Because I created this CDS view from this SCAR table. And what is my entity view name? That is my ZCDS demo learn. This is my database object because zview_demo1 is my database object, right? And SCAR is also my database object. But don't get confused, this CDS view is not my database object. So if you see the dependency tree, this is my SQL view name. This SQL view name, SQL relation is coming from your database table SCAR, and this CDS view name, entity name, this is not your database object. The database object is only your SQL view. And since I haven't specified any data control language as an access control for the same, hence the access control is none. So I showed you the active annotations and I showed you the dependency analyzer. Now let me show you the dictionary log. So this is the dictionary log. So when I created this DDL source, this is my the ID, date and time, and when I activated it. So this is your dictionary log. Now another point, I showed you dictionary log, active annotations, annotation propagation. So this is your annotation propagation. These are the up to the 3 different annotations that I have used till now. Can you see? @ABAP-catalog.preserve key, @ABAP-catalog.SQL view name, and @enduser.text.label. So these are all the different annotations that I have used till now. And Apart from that, there is one more thing, as in the activation graph. So can you see, this is my activation graphs. So as of now, I've just activated only the DDL source name. Hence, I'm getting the activation graph as the DDL source name only. Up to this point, is it clear, guys? These are just some of the tools which I wanted to show you, which you can use. Also, if you have your SQL view name, right click on the same, click on open with, and click on go to the definition. It will navigate you to your CDS entity view name with which it is related. It will navigate you to your CDS entity view name with which it is related. So guys, I gave you just 3 minutes. These 3-4 utilities which I just showed you now. Please make a change, use the element level annotations. This is your preceding your element, this is your trailing element annotation. Use in any of the way you want, and I just give you 2 to 3 minutes. Please utilize all these tools which I just showed you now. 2 to 3 minutes, guys. ZC10 KNA1_V. Let us see. No, where is the dump? I did not get. Asit.
Yeah, view the data.
Huh?
You have to view the data when you try to view. Yeah, right.
No, why are you trying to view the data from here?
You should be, because it's a database object, right?
What?
You should be able to view the data, right, from here.
See, this was my view name, right?
Yeah, I can see the data there.
So then let me go to your SQL view name, what you have created. Sorry, your DDL source name. Let me activate the same. So now let me go to the
data?
SQL view of the same. Asit, just try referring to KNA1. Is KNA1 giving dump? No, KNA1 is not giving dump. What is the change that you did?
Because I didn't pick up any key value, that's why.
No, that doesn't matter. Even if I don't give key value also it will work. I just ran, see, because anyways if I remove the key fields, anyways it doesn't matter. Okay, so if I remove this key, no, and if I remove this key, okay, if I remove this key field and if I remove this key field and if I do an F8 for the same, let me close this. If I do an F8 for the same, see the data will still come.
Yeah.
And if I go here, see here, so it doesn't matter that whether I give key field or not.
Yeah.
Was your SQL view properly activated? Because see the program name that it is showing, no, that is your standard runtime activation program name, which is throwing the dump for you.
Yeah, it's SAP.
Yeah, that what happens, no, that SQL create statement is done by the system, right?
Yeah.
So it will create a runtime program which will help to create that SQL view for the same. So was your SQL view properly created?
Yeah.
Is anyone else also facing the same issue? Anyone else is facing the same issue? Anyone? Aditya, in EDT you cannot specify any T code. We have already discussed this in the last class. You need to navigate. Click, put your cursor here and press F3. F3 will help you to navigate. Got the point, Aditya? Asit, can you do one thing? Can you just try creating another CDS view and just activate the same?
Yeah, I'm going to try that.
Because what I see is like that is your runtime activation program which is throwing a dump for you.
Yeah.
And in front of you only, see, I did no, I just I'll uncomment back. Even if I don't give this no, this key is like from this perspective which I showed.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter whether I give key or not give, it should work out.
Oh, I know what it is.
It's working.
I'm supposed to comment out this other annotations. So.
What?
I didn't comment out the other stuff. I'm going to try again. I know what I did. No.
See, this annotation doesn't matter with respect to your SQL, with respect to your DCL. So this will go out of picture, and compiler.compare filter true also will come into picture when you click about association. So these all annotations will not come into picture as of now. These two. This is related to associations in CDS view, and this is related to your data control language. Access control, I told you right at the starting, DCL part. So these two you can try to, anyways, if you don't comment, it doesn't have any relation here. Try it out, Asit, once, okay?
Yeah, okay. Thanks.
So where were we? I forgot. Okay. Now I want to show you how to use join in your CDS view. Okay, before I show you how to use join, I want to show you that apart from your CDS, like how you use in SAP ABAP, your session variable, your system variables, like right, SciU name, SciU date, SciU's IT, SciUcom, and all those things. Similarly, here also there are certain session parameters which will give you the current system date and all those things. So to show you the same, like example, I'll show you. Here URL, you give a comma here. So use the keyword $session dot put control and space. This will give you the current client. Okay. So session as client, then $session dot, give the system date as date, then $session dot, put a space, system language as language, and last $session space, control space, user as user. If I give, guys, if I give user as user, now let me try to activate the same. You will get an error, guys. Okay, why you will get an error is this date and user are the reserved keywords with respect to your CDS views. If you again go to the activation log, this date and user are your reserved keyword. So what you can do is just change the date to current underscore date and change the user to current underscore user. Shift and F1, Control and F2, Control and F3. So this $session dot client, now see I'm getting, so current date and current user also you cannot use. See, I cannot use date and user, I cannot use current date and current user. So I'll use column underscore date and column underscore user. Control and F3, Control and F3. Once you do, it will activate the same. So the reserved keywords, you better be aware about the reserved keywords because you cannot use the same. So user, date, similarly your current underscore user and current underscore date. So in case you have a requirement wherein you want to use the current system date, language and all these things, you can handle the same by here, by using the $session parameter, where it will give you the current date, user ID, system details and all these details. Now if you click on F8 and check the same, can you see here, this is your date client, this is your date, this is your language, this is your user details. So this is how you can have your current user date, system and all. Also you can give a character and a number literal for the same. So what I mean is, if I give here hello as your column underscore char, and I give a number as 1 2 3 4 as column underscore int, okay, and shift and F1, control and F3. Let me do an F8 on the same. Can you see this column char and column int? So now if I go to my SQL view of the same to check the data type of the same, the data type will be a char column and an integer 2 column. So this is your character literal, which you can specify directly at the element position, and this is your number literal, which you can directly specify at the element position. This will have the integer data type and this will have the character data type. So what we understood, that we can directly use $session parameters, $session.client, system date, user and language for giving you the system, client, user and the language details, and you can also specify the character literal and number literal, which will be of type char and int respectively. Char and int respectively. Now if you want to create a join on a CDS view, what you need to do is right click on the same here, new other ABAP repository object, click on data definition, search here, click on next, give the name as Z. What was the name I gave there? So ZCDS underscore basics 2. CDS basics and join. Now why it is showing me 2 3? I'll use this next Next, now here select this template, define view with join. This was for normal creating a CDS view. This is for define view with join. Either you can create a template or write on your own also, but I just prefer creating the template because it will be easier for us. Okay, now this is your SQL view name. So change the SQL view name here, zview_demo2. Then ZCDS basics, select from your first data source. So let my first data source be SPFLI. Okay, so SPFLI. Now here by default it comes as left outer join. I want to replace it with inner join. So inner join, I want to join SPFLI with scar. So also I'll give a alias name for the same. SPFLI is A, scar as B. So on your data source name dot element name. So what I'll do is A dot char ID, SPFLI is A, and here I will give B dot char ID. So I've given the join condition. Now we'll give the field names. So if you put control and space here, it will allow you to insert all the elements. See here, this will insert all the elements. Can you see? I just inserted all the elements by just putting control and space. Now I don't need all the elements. What I'll remove this. I don't need this. Now I need A.char ID as carrier underscore ID. Fine. Let me have con ID. Let me have your, this will also be my key field. So @ABAP-catalog.preserve key as true. I don't need this. Let me comment this. Authorization check. I don't need this. Let me comment this. Now this country from, this all I don't need. Okay, one other important point which you need to understand is whenever you are specifying a key at the element level position, it should be contiguous. As in, here I element is key field, here I element is key field. Now if I insert 3-4 key fields, because if I do control and Z now, can you see key field, these all are not key fields. So whenever you are specifying a key field and you also want to specify a key field here, either you can pull it here, Control X, here, okay, or you need to make it all in a same contiguous position, okay, otherwise it will keep on throwing you the error. So you need to make same that key must be contiguous, otherwise it will keep on throwing you error. Okay, here these are key fields, that is why it is throwing error. Now I'll remove both of this, and I don't need all these as well. So I had char ID, con ID. So if you want this con ID, if you want, you can give the alias name then dot, or in case if this particular field is only with respect to that table only, then that alias name is not mandatory. But if you want to just distinguish it, that which it is coming from which table and all, you can give the alias name for the same. So char ID, con ID, char name. I'll give this currency code as currency. Okay. URL I'll not give. So airport from airport to, city from, and city to. Shift and F1, Control and F2, Control and F3. So now Control and F3 done. I have activated the same. Let me show you the data preview for the same. So see here, carrier ID, con ID, carrier name, currency, airport from, airport to, city from, city to. In this way I can do a join in a CDS view. Now when I am doing a join on a CDS view, this doesn't mean that this has to be a database table only. You can join a CDS view with another CDS view as well. So if I wanted, I can join this CDS view, that's that CDS demo learn with SPFLI, and I can use the same as well. It's not that, so join means it's joining of any data object. So what is happening when I'm joining another CDS view, basically it is giving you the database representation object, that is your SQL view name. So whenever I am joining, either I can join two database objects only, or either I can join a CDS view along with the database object, or either I can join a CDS view with a CDS view. So in this way you can use the join functionality as well to build like, what do you say, CDS views on top of your CDS views, or joining a CDS view with another data source for the same. Up to this point, is it clear guys, how to create a join on your CDS view? Up to this point, is it clear guys? Yeah. So guys, I give you 5 minutes now. Practice a join concept. What you do now, the last CDS view which you created, okay, try to join that CDS view with another database source table. Don't join two database sources, because I showed you this. Try to join the database source table with another CDS view. Don't join both the database tables, because I just showed you this. Now try something different. Try joining your database source table with the last created CDS view. Okay, you got the question right? What do you need to do? Guys, you understood right? What do you need to do? Shifani, Snehal, Aditya, Srishti, join your last created CDS view with another database source. Okay, I give you 5 minutes now. 9:21, 9:26. We'll again proceed further. See, I'm giving you all of time so that you don't have to practice tomorrow. You can enjoy your festival. So Asit, I think, will be very happy because Mumbai won IPL.
Yeah. I think they spent enough money. They spent enough money on Rohit.
So now the best part is Rohit Sharma is giving a tough competition to Virat Kohli in terms of becoming the captain of the national side for the T20 team.
Yeah, but he was selected there.
That is some kind of politics. I don't know. They are telling he is injured. Then he is playing matches for his IPL team. God knows. Today Kaushik is not asking any questions. Normally Kaushik asks questions. Even Aditya also.
Maybe they have a lot of work at work. They must be busy at work, I guess.
Yeah, Kaushik has worked till 3 o'clock. He is telling he is not feeling well. Kaushik, that's why tomorrow there is a break for you. You can sleep properly.
We also lost all our taste systems.
Kaushik, that's why you can practice along with everyone so that you don't have to invest time again tomorrow or today. I hope you are doing the same, right, Kaushik? Oh, you are unlucky one. At least try to understand the concepts, because then you can practice later on, at least this week, right? Is it fine, Kaushik? And in case you have got any doubts, you can ping on the group or ask everyone. Aditya, what happened to you today? So did anyone complete? Srishti, you completed kya? Harish, Srishti, Ricardo, Shifani, Snehal, Asit and all, did anyone complete joining the CDS view with the DDS source? Okay, 2 more minutes. Okay, parallelly just look here, there is one annotation. So see, whenever we are getting the data from my database views and all, so you know that my database views or my database tables have got a field called client, right? So there is a concept called @client handling. So what happens is, when I give @client handling, sorry, @client handling dot type, here this has got 3 types. So by default we are using the inherited, client dependent and client independent. So even if I am not specifying this annotation @client handling dot type as inherited, what does this mean is, with this value, the client dependency of the view is determined by the data sources used. So since my data sources are SPFL and SCAR, these all are database dependent, right? I had showed you the concept because mandate field is there. So hence, since all the database sources used are data like your client dependent, so the view is also client dependent. Hence, even if I am not specifying this annotation @client handling dot type, but still my CDS entity view is client dependent. Here, if I exclusively have to specify as client dependent or client independent, so if none of the sources that I use as the data source is client dependent, then my view becomes client independent. So if I use it here client independent, you know I'll get an error. See here, automatic client handling is not possible because this and this both are my client dependent. So I cannot do the contradictory of the same by specifying this as client independent. So it will give me an error that automatic client handling is not possible here. These two are client dependent, I am trying to make it as client independent. So if I close this and if I give the other one, that is the client dependent. So now if you see here, now there will be no error. So even if I don't specify anything, @client handling dot type will be hash inherited. It will be inherited from the data sources used. If you want to still specify the same, depending on your data sources, you can give it as client dependent. And if you want to make it as client independent, then you need to make sure that none of the data sources used in that CDS views should be client dependent at all. And in case of client dependent, in any of the data sources must be client dependent. This is the difference. No, annotations are not saved in any table to check, Harish. Annotations you will not find in any table and all. Annotations are not there in any table. Got the point, Harish? This is basically your semantic information, and this is changing your technical and semantic information of your CDS views. So @client handling dot type hash inherited, by default it depends on the data sources. If both are dependent, by default it will be inherited from the data sources used. In case if you may want to make it @client handling dot type as client dependent, any of the data sources, at least one of the data sources must be client dependent. If any of the data sources are client independent, then you can specify the same as client independent here. So even if you want to give, I will give as client inherited here. Control and F3. So I'll specify the same here. Client handling type, okay. Inherited. Then your client dependent and independent. So before this @client handling was used, there was another annotation I'm just not able to recall it. There were some other annotations, but now that has become obsolete, and now this is used @client handling dot type. Prior to this, this came from 7.51 onwards. So whosoever system is on ABAP NetWeaver version 7.51 and all, we will be able to see the same. Prior to this, this was not there. @client handling dot type was not there. So there was another annotation something was there which was having client only. I'm not able to recall that, but now that annotation is no longer exists. This has become @client handling dot type as inherited. Wait, I'll just. It was client dependent or something was there, but you will not get it now, because if you just do CL and just put control space, no, that client dependent is not there. @client dependent or something, it was kind of was there, but now it is not there. Yeah, @client dependent as true or false, but now this has been replaced with this new concept @client handling dot type. So guys, did you all complete that joining of the CDS view with your DDL's data dictionary source? Then we'll move forward to consuming a CDS view with input parameters, because here if you see, when I'm trying to filter out the data, I'm giving it a static where condition, right? But in real-time requirements, you cannot have static where conditions. You will have the dynamic where conditions wherein user will pass the data and then you need to change the same. So if you want to handle the same by the help of the dynamic filter criteria, then you need to handle it through CDS with input parameters, wherein user interaction will be required. So I'll proceed with that in case if you all have done that last part. Guys, is it done? Can I proceed? So Srishti, you did it. Srishti, can you just tell me your object name so that we can just cross check once? Shrishti, can you just tell your object name? Okay, great. She has joined this one with this one. So char ID, beacon ID, and she's taken the carrier name and airport from. Okay, Srishti, good. So I hope all of you have tried in the same way. You can add much more elements and specify some annotations and all. And also you can play around with that @clienthandling.type. Okay, now moving forward to creating a CDS with input parameters. So okay, I'll use this. So use this template define view with parameters. Click on finish. So zview underscore, let me give a SQL view name. First, always have the habit of giving a SQL view name so that the headache is gone. Otherwise the error will keep on coming. This I don't need, I'll comment it. This I don't need, I'll comment it. And with parameters, now here you need to specify the parameter here. Whatever parameter you want to specify, okay. So suppose I want to specify a material number P underscore Matner, and this will be the type that you need to specify is, you write abap dot and then you will get all the types. So char, I want to specify the type as char 18, okay. So the material number is the input number, and along with that I want to specify the language as well, okay. So P underscore language and abap dot char 1, okay, fine. So these are my two input parameters. One is my language and one is my this thing. Now I select from the data source name, I'll select from Mara, fine. I'll go inside this. Now for the elements, what I'll do, I'll make this as a join. So Mara as A, inner join MAKT as B. So I'll join Mara and MAKT as B on A dot Matner equals to B dot Matner. So what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to join MAKT Mara with your MAKT table so as to get the material description by passing the material number. This is my requirement from with respect to the CDS view. Okay, now I'll give the key field as key A dot Matner as your material underscore number, okay. Now B dot material description I will get from B dot maktx as material underscore description, okay. Now after this I want to specify as the language that I got. Now to use this parameter as, now I can even use this parameter as my element in my CDS view. If I want to use the parameter as my element in my CDS view, either way is you use $parameters dot P underscore language, this is one way, or you can use colon P underscore language, okay. So sorry, this is not semicolon, this is colon P underscore language, okay. So colon P underscore language as language code, okay. This is the language code that I am giving. Now let me show you a scenario where I can use the case statement here. So case, Now let me show you the other way around to use the parameters. So $parameters dot p underscore language. Okay, this is when English. Okay, this is when English. Then I gave the description as English. Okay, else non-English, else non-English. Okay, now up to this point is done. Now end as, this is the syntax, case, then this whatever expression you want to give, when this value then English, else non-English, end as language. Okay, so now this will give in this one because this is not yet used. Okay, now what I'll do, where condition a dot Mathner equals to $parameters dot p dot Mathner and b dot trash equals to, I'll use this colon to just to show you, so as to use both the cases, b dot language. So see here guys, what I did, I used the concept of join, I used the concept of input parameters, I wanted to pass the material number to get the material description for the same. So join Mara with MAKD table, material number as a key field and the material description. Along with that, I want to pass the language, and on the basis of this, whether I want to determine whether it is English or non-English, I've used the concept of case, end case here. So this is the syntax, case, then the expression, then when this, then this, else, whatever I want, end as the alias name. Now if I want to execute the same, let me activate it here. Now guys, one important point is, when I do an F8, this is my mandatory values, I cannot proceed forward. Okay, this is my mandatory values. So if I give just 21 here and if I give an English here, so I will not get anything because this 21 is not acceptable here because this length is of 18. Okay, this length is of 18. What I'll do, I'll go to SE11, I think this is closed. SE16, and I'll try to get some values from Mara table. So let me take this F8, let me pass this, and okay. Can you see this guys? Material number, engine raw material, language code in English. Now my next requirement is, if I want to tell you that I want to trim this material number, I want 21 only and not 00021. What you need to do is, you need to use ltrim here, then a dot Mathner, you put it here, Control V, I'll remove this from here, and I want to trim this with the leading zeros, so 0 here. So Shift and F1, Control and F3. Now let me show you the output of the same. So I'll do an F8 once it is activated. So let me again capture this value. Okay, can you see here the value got trimmed? So this is what I was telling. In your CDS views directly you can use certain SQL functions directly, case expressions directly, with which it helps you to do all these things which you were earlier doing at your ABAP application server level, but now you are doing it directly at your database layer itself. So I did join also, I provided parameters also, I did trim also, I did use this case expression also, and after everything I am getting ultimately the end output is what? The refined data, right? When I am giving this and when I give this, I get this. Earlier I was getting all this data and then I was doing this. Now this is the drastic change, the difference that you are seeing now. Got the point, guys? How I use this? This is how we create a CDS view with input parameters. Up to this point, is it clear, guys? Now, if you want to consume the same in your ABAP report, suppose this CDS view, I'll just show you. So on that day, let us take any program. Let us create a program. Source code, ABAP program, click on next. So just give Z report CDS consumption. Okay. CDS consumption. I'll use any of the TR. Click on next. Click on finish. Now what you do, provide a material number of the same parameters, P underscore Matner, type Matner. Okay, done. Now what we will do is that, now for this material number, we will try to pass this material number to get the data from your CDS view. Okay, so select from. Now what is my CDS view name? ZCDS Demo Basics 3. So select from ZCDS Demo Basics 3, shift and enter to provide the entire signature. See, this thing automatically came. This got repeated 2 times. You can ignore the same. In the material number, provide @P underscore Matner. Why I am using @, you know, right? We discussed this in the last class, because I have to specify that this is not at the database layer, this is your ABAP application server level. Here specify as E. Okay. Now select from this by passing the this. Now fields, what I need is fields. I need all the fields. Suppose, okay, I need all the fields. Then into table @data LT underscore tab. Okay, now CL underscore demo underscore output display, and here I'll pass the internal table name LT underscore tab. What mistake I made? Yes, space. Okay. Now let me run this program. So if I give 21 here, so guys, will I give any output? See here, I gave the in the input material number as 21, so this gave 21 engine raw material. So guys, now a question to you: when I gave 21 here and when I had given just 21 here in the CDS view, I did not get any output. But why, when I am giving the same in the report, why I am getting the output? Anyone? Can anyone answer me? Can anyone answer me? When I just gave 21 in my CDS view, I did not get any output. But when I am giving just 21 in my report and I am consuming the CDS view, I am getting the output. Can anyone tell me why did it happen? Anyone?
Is it done at the runtime? That's why.
What?
Is it done at the runtime when you actually run the report? It converts.
See, simple thing. I'm using
Conversion
parameters. Yeah. Yeah, Harish. tell.
Probably with leading zeros and for the particular material file fetching the data.
Okay, who is this? Harish, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So you are almost close. So what I'm happening, I'm doing using this line number 8. See here, p underscore matner type matner, right? Parameters p underscore matner type matner. Okay, I'll show you one more thing. Once again, I'll execute. Just focus here. Okay. When I give 21, can you see by default when I give 21? Okay. And if I click on execute, and if I close this, can you see what is happening? What happens is this p underscore matner is of type matner, right? This is of type matner. So just navigate to this matner. So this matner is of type matner. Now click on the additional properties. Can you see the parameters for the same s underscore mat1 and all? So what I mean is just go from your SAP GUI. This is the problem. This system gets closed. Go to your matner, okay? Go to your further characteristics and go to your field label. Once you're done, go to your domain. Can you see this routine? Guys, can you see this routine as MATN1? This is your implicit conversion which is doing when you are entering the same. That is the reason, though I am giving 21, but since my declaration is done as type matner, this will take care of it. Now suppose if I had just given char 18, okay? Guys, if I had just given char 18, parameters p underscore matner type char 18, I'll execute the same. I'll put a breakpoint here. I'll put a breakpoint here. And once I put a breakpoint here, I'll now execute the same. I'll give 21 here and execute. Once I execute, let us go to the debugger. Now in p underscore matner, can you see this is just showing the value as 21? Now if I do an F8, you will not get any output. Here you will not get any output. Now guys, did you understand the point? Why the automatically it worked out when I give matner, and when I give anything else it will not work out?
Yeah.
Guys, now are you able to correlate?
Yeah.
See here, in my CDS view, this is abap.char18. Okay. Here also, when I have given just char 18, the value will not be automatically converted to your 000021 and all. It will just be 21, and hence it will fail again. Getting the point, guys? Now Harish, is it clear? Your point was same. To add to that, I just added this understood. Understood the point, right? So now if you want to handle this, how to do? I had showed you a trick last class. Data lb underscore matner. You need to convert the same. So to that, how you need to do is, this p underscore matner is there and char 18 is there, right? So use this concept. Pipe operator, full stop. Now here p underscore matner alpha equals to n, or you can use a conversion exit alpha input to add the leading zeros. So control and F2, control and F3. Now activate the same. Once you activated the same, let me close this. Now let us run this program once again. Let us do an F8 on the same. I put a breakpoint, let me put 21, let me execute the same, and once I execute the same, can you see this LV Matner? It came with the leading zeros, and now if I do an F8, it will again come as blank because one place also we needed to change, which was this position.
Yeah.
So at the rate LV underscore Matner F3. Let us close this again. Let us activate this. Activated. Let us run the same as 21. Activate the same. And now let me do an F8. Now the output came. So everyone, is it clear? How I just wanted to show you the difference between both the cases. Understood, Asit?
Yep.
This concept. I tried to relate with whatever I taught you on the last class. So this is the shortcut which I wanted to show you for doing a conversion exit alpha input. You can just make a note of this. Rather than using conversion exit alpha input function module, you can use the same to add leading zeros to it. So this was all about you creating a CDS view with input parameters and consuming the same in your ABAP reports. Now there is one more topic left which I want to show you, that is extension of your CDS view. So like how we can add any custom fields or any additional fields to our standard database tables, right? If you want to add, we use the append structure or customizing include, which I will show you in the last class. Similarly, even we can extend our standard CDS views as well in case we want to add any additional fields to the same. So extension will come into picture in case if you want to extend your CDS view to add any additional fields so as to serve your requirement. So we will extend a standard CDS view. We have got some EPM standard CDS view. I'll just show you this. So we will extend this CDS view SEPM underscore SGDL underscore goods receipt header. So here these are these fields. Okay, we will try to add any additional fields to this standard CDS view. So how do we do is click on new, other ABAP repository object, data definition. Okay, then click on next. Extend. CDS extension. Now here extend view. Click on this extend view. Okay. Click on this extend view, then click on finish. Once you click on finish, it will ask you for the SQL view append name. So you need to specify like how we were specifying a SQL view. Similarly, while extending your standard CDS views, we'll specify our SQL view append name. So Z view underscore AP underscore demo1 example. Okay. Now extend your view name here. So provide your standard view name. So suppose I will extend that view SEPM underscore SGDL underscore goods control and space goods receipt header, this one. Okay, with this is your extension view name which you gave, and now I have to specify the data source name dot element name. So supplier dot, I will take the company as company, and I'll add one more, purchase underscore order dot confirm underscore status as status. Okay, why I use these two, that is data source name, I'll show you from here. when I open this standard CDS view, see here, these are all your basically your associations. So from the associations I want to add any extra field to the same. That was the reason I was giving the data source name as those two. Okay, so extend your view, your standard CDS view name with whatever extension view name which you gave. Just I gave ZCDS basic extend, hence the same. Okay, if you go here, ZCDS basic extend I gave, this is the CDS extension name, the whatever field names you want to specify, and your SQL view append name. Once you have done, activate the same. Once you have activated the same, just wait for a few minutes before it gets activated. So it is activated, right? Now go to your standard CDS view. Can you see here this diagram came extended with ZCDS basic extend, and if you go here it will come here. So this picture will come which will show that this CDS view has been extended with more fields, and if you click, just put your cursor here, and if you click here it will go your extension CDS view. Other thing, if you just open your SQL view name for the same in the here, if you open it here, see here, can you see this append? This append will come like how we append our standard database views and tables. Similarly, this append will also come here because we added these two fields. So whenever we are extending a CDS view, this is what our software provider provided, right? CDS view definition and the SQL view which got generated, right? When we are extending a view of the same, we are creating our own append view, right? We gave this append view name. So if you go to this representation of this data object, SQL view name, this append view name is what it is stored at the database, and this is what you saw here. This was SQL view name with respect to the DDL source, and this is what when I did the CDS view extension. Now if you refer to this diagram here, SQL view name which was generated earlier, and the append view name which I generated just now from here. This was the append view name which I just generated just now. If you combine both, this is what your representation at the database object, and this is what you are seeing the same here. So SQL view name generated objects, CDS view extension, SQL view append name generated objects, both combined is your representation of the extension along with the standard DDL source. Up to this point, is it clear, guys? Any query on how to extend? I showed you. Yes, case everything. When I showed this case, I just showed for purpose on this. You can even do it on your material number, MAKTX, whatever column name, field names are there. Got the point, Asit? You can do either on parameters, you can do either on your original the field names, you can do on anything. Okay, so up to this point, is there any queries? This is what I had had planned to teach you with respect to the CDS basics, so that I will cover small things of everything, so that at least you can be aware about the CDS basics. And in detail, as I told you earlier, we'll be covering all the CDS basic and the advanced concepts in detail in that other training. So up to this point, anyone has got any doubts up to whatever you understood today? Any doubts, guys? Anyone? Okay, then I have prepared a few quiz questions here. So what should be the answer for the first question? CDS stands for?
No, first.
Answer for the first question?
The first one.
Yeah? Yeah, core data services, right. Can we use both CDS SQL view and CDS entity view in my ABAP program? Yes or no, guys? True or false? Naresh says yes. What about the others? Srishti, the others, Asit and all?
Entity views. That's the one that we created. Yeah, yes.
Entity view in the sense, even for extend also we have something like extend with the entity. Is it
No.
something like that?
Don't. When I am talking about the CDS entity view name, as in this is your complete CDS entity view name. So when I extended this, your entity view name still remains the same. Your entity view name is not changing. This is just your CDS extension view entity. You cannot use this. Getting the point? Because when you are trying to use this, you will be getting all the fields. Apart from this, you will get these also, these fields also. This is just your extension view name. Got the point?
Original view. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now coming back to my question, so can we use CDS, both CDS SQL view and CDS entity view in our program? Yes or no, guys?
No.
So the answer is true, but SAP recommends that you always go with CDS entity views only, and moreover there is a strict restriction from 7.51 SAP ABAP NetWeaver version wherein you have to use this CDS entity view only, okay? But answer is true, with version releases more stricter it is in the picture, that is CDS entity view only, but the answer is true. Both CDS entity view and CDS SQL view definition are saved in the ABAP transport, true or false? Next question. Guys, what is the answer for the next question? Yeah, false. Only the DDL source name is there.
Yeah.
Right? Only the DDL source name is there, no?
Yeah. False. Yeah.
Yes.
Create table, create view, alter table, drop table are a part of data manipulation language, true or false?
DDL. False.
It's a part of DDL, Naresh. It's not a part of DML.
Yeah. DDL.
Okay.
Yes.
What is the one mandatory ABAP annotation in CDS?
Create view name.
@ ABAP catalog dot SQL view name. I showed you, right? This was mandatory. Without this, you will not be able to activate it at all.
Yeah.
Can we create ABAP CDS views in Oracle database system? Yes or no?
Yes.
Why we can't create? I told you, no, CDS views are
Only for
database
HANA.
independent.
HANA database it has.
Database CDS views are database independent.
Yeah. So you can.
It can be created on a HANA database. HANA CDS views will be created in HANA only. But I am speaking about ABAP CDS views.
Yeah. Only. ABAP is HANA.
ABAP CDS views you can create either on HANA database, Oracle database, MS SQL, any database. It is database independent, okay? CDS entity view is considered as the carrier of the model information and data source for selections in ABAP. CDS SQL view is considered as the representative of the CDS view on the database level. This is true or false, guys? True or false, guys? I just now told, no, CDS SQL view is considered as your representation of your database object, no? True.
Yeah.
True.
What can be used for changing the value of operand into a target type? So what I mean here is, if you want to convert a data type of this into another target type, what is the operator that you will use? So I'll just tell you some small information. So suppose, example, there is a field called field 1 which is of type char, and if you want to convert it to type integer for just for calculation purpose, you need to use cast operator to convert the same. So cast is used for converting your operand from one type to the other target type. So cast is the answer. Got the point? Now This question, annotation @client handling was introduced in 7.5 for handling client dependency or client independent. The previous annotation @client dependent became obsolete. True or false? I just told you this answer just a few minutes back. True, right?
It is true.
Can we define ABAP CDS views without key? Can we define ABAP CDS views without key? Yes, we can define.
Yes.
Last question. Annotations can be preceding or trailing the CDS view fields. Annotations can be preceding or trailing the CDS view fields. True, right?
Mhm.
I showed you, no, before the element level annotation, after the element level annotation. At the rate and then less than sign, trailing. And just at the rate, no less than sign, it is preceding, right? Okay, this comes to the end of the quiz. And in this way, we come to the end of the session for today. So any questions up to this point? Before we disperse off for celebrating Diwali?
Happy Diwali, Happy New
So
Year.
Naresh is already telling Happy Diwali so that we can disperse off. Oops, we need to plan. Aditya will let you know. Once we plan oops, we'll communicate you all of you on the same. Okay. So next class we will understand enhancements, modifications, handling web services, then your implicit enhancements and playing enhancements and append structure, customizing includes and all those things. Aditya, but the sad news is that Bob will be dead in a few time, like most probably in a year. Bob will be dead. That is why your ABAP wrap and all came into picture.
What is BOP? What is it? BOPF.
BOPF is Business Object Processing Framework. It's a completely a different framework which was implemented in SOP like SAP. But now with this ABAP RESTful application programming and all these things coming into picture, no, this BOP is going out. So if you want to learn these new things, then RAP is the thing which you want to learn. But the thing is that still first, like you should go phase by phase, like ABAP, then ABAP on HANA, and understanding the CDS concepts, AMDP concepts. Because if you don't understand the CDS, ABAP on HANA, and AMDP and all these concepts, no, it will be very difficult for you to understand all this RAP and all. So that's what my suggestion is, because many people just want to jump, but the thing is ultimately at the end of the day, if we don't understand and just deliver it, that like we are just doing it for the sake of doing without understanding anything. Okay. Yeah, Adobe Forms is also starting because Adobe Forms came as a replacement of the Smart Forms and all. From January there will be multiple training starting. So like December will be like of because it's like end of the year phase and all, and many of the people go for leaves and all and everything. So it will be like a vacation period. And from January there will be a lot of trainings coming again. Not to worry, Harish, like even if you have enrolled for the same or you have missed for the same, you can again enroll for the next upcoming batches. And in case if it is like clashing with this thing, we'll you can join for this or that. And in case only I'll told you the topics which we'll be covering on that day. And in case we can you have any queries, or you can just like revert back to us with your queries. Is it fine, Harish?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, fine then. So I hope there is no further doubts. So today you all understood the basics of CDS and all. So we will have one more session covering all those enhancements and all those topics. Till then, have a good and a happy and a safe Diwali. Enjoy the time with your family and friends. Come back fresh. We'll again meet one more day on Saturday. Okay, fine. Bye bye. Take care, guys.
Yeah, thanks, Abhishek.